Thank you very much, Luca, for taking the time to speak with me today. So please, Luca, if you could introduce yourself, tell us what you do today, and then we'll get into some background after. If that's okay.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much to engage me for this small interview. Today, my name is Luca Pozzoni. Today, I'm the deputy CEO of a company operating in industrial engineering sector. The name of the company is Exergy International. Company focused on the equipment supply for renewable energy plants and for industrial heat recovery application. I'm also the CFO, so my background is financial of the Italian group. The Italian group is composed by two operating company and one SPV. And one of this company, Exergy, so where I am also the deputy CEO, has three foreign subsidiary in Turkey, in Kenya, and in US. So in this role, I provide the full strategic and financial support in all the key decisions taken by the group or by the companies.
Nice. Thank you for the introduction, Luca. And I started in accounting department many years ago.
Many years ago.
Sorry. Did you ever dream of being a CFO and CEO of a company when you began your career?
In reality, no. When I started, the thought was to be, let me say, supportive inside of the team, inside of the department. And my career, as you mentioned, started in finance and administration department. Mm-hmm. And but in my role, time to time, started to expand, and I progressively not only expanded the role, but also the scope of integration of the financial department or accounting department together with the core business of the company that was at the time the commercial department. So this kind of integration allow me step by step to take more responsibility.
I see. I'm going to do a quick overview for people that are listening, because I know you're someone who spent almost 20 years in accounting, finance, operations, and making jumps into leadership, strategy, and then eventually general manager. And obviously your role is in renewable energy business now. So it's a fantastic journey you've been on. Can I
25, unfortunately.
25 years. Sorry. Yeah, 25 years. And what a journey you've had as well. So what was the story, how you first got into accounting? What was the decision there? You know, when you was a young man 25 years ago. When you left school, so what led you to accounting in the beginning?
Yes, at the beginning, frankly speaking, I was the junior of the department. Mm-hmm. My first role inside of the accounting, I was the junior. I started to support the operation people into the analysis of the income statement. So I was step by step the person who created the analysis for the stock and for the warehouse analysis. And then I became the team leader for the G&A of the company and the leader of the contract for the company. Mm-hmm. So then I move also in a first step on the financial, and I became the responsible for all the insurance of the group. So, but we are speaking again 25, 23, 20 years ago.
I see. then when you progressed on, so
But the
when
progress was related to the aim to take not only the more responsibility, but also to participate in the decision making of the department.
you wanted to be part of the decision making.
Yes.
Okay.
And step by step, I try to enter in this kind of sphere of influence in front of the CFO at the beginning, the financial manager and the CFO. So I expanded my role from AP to APAR to the contract and also the financials. So it was a long path, but the driver was always the possibility to be part of the decision making.
What type of decisions? What were the things that you would have wanted to have an impact on, or be able to make your own decisions on for the work you was doing?
But it depends also from the role. At the beginning was simple decision, so which kind of accounting treatment you can suggest to your leader, or which kind of contractual negotiation you can propose for a supplier, and then which kind of negotiation you can have in front of the bank during I don't know, financial transaction. So it depends from the role, and it depends also
it was
from
just the decision itself. You wanted to be able to play an impact in. I understand.
Yes.
And then Luca, tell me. So I can see you spent 10 years with, is it Redicam Group? What kept you there? It's a long time to be in a single company. Or actually, not what kept you there. Can I ask you, the time you spent there, what did those years teach you?
And, I extended the role with the AR, the contract, but also, and it was extremely important, to start to work with the foreign subsidiary. So the control, become the, let me say, bishop into the financial information coming from the foreign subsidiary. And from Brazil, from US, together with also the team, the colleagues, but not only the financial team and the financial colleagues, also with commercial team, also with the operational team. Together, we also create a new subsidiary for an important project that we executed in Chile. And we start from scratch without any subsidiary. We create the subsidiary. I established the subsidiary. I took the connection with the consultancies, the local consultancies, and step by step.
How was that? Was that a difficult project?
The project was extremely difficult, but let's say we can say today at the end we did a good job.
Good. That's nice to hear.
And it was one of the beginning step, because one of my strong experience is also create and work with a foreign subsidiary. Now, this in the last 3 months in Exergy, we established a subsidiary in Kenya, in Nairobi, and in USA, in Houston. So in my previous experience, you mentioned about Redicam, I was also board member in a JV in India, together between Exergy, Redicam and another Indian company. So at the end, I was extremely active with the foreign market.
I see what your speciality is now, Luca. You're good at helping companies establish entities in other countries.
Yes.
That's very useful, especially in the industry we're working in, because the biogas market is going insane across Europe right now. We're seeing a lot of companies enter Spain, Italy, France, Poland.
The important thing is also to consider, for these specific industries, is also consider which kind of subsidies a country is able to provide for this specific project.
Yeah. And tell me, Luca, I ask everyone this question. What do you enjoy most about your job? Must be the decision making for sure.
Yes.
But tell me, what do you enjoy most in a
The
sort of a...
flexibility of this type of company. There is
Okay,
no choice. Those companies are not a big corporation, are let me say SME. We have in our group the last 2025 was around 60 million euro of turnover. One company 53, the other one 7. But we are extremely flexible in the decision making. We are extremely flexible in the reaction with the market, in the operational activities. It's not easy because time to time you have to discuss with corporation with difficult situation, but at the end the capacity to be flexible and fast in the reaction, it is something that likely too
okay.
much.
And on that topic, Luca, if you can give me an example of a time where you've been most flexed, can you give me an example of one that was a real push for you guys, but it was maybe
Yeah,
it worked out well?
for example, we had, let me say, one positive situation in one of the negotiations that we did recently. There was some change in the request of the customer, and I was together with a couple of my colleagues in front of the customer, and we took the decision in less than, let's say, half an hour, speaking also internally with our team, our operational team. Another situation was a not very, very exciting situation because we had a problem during the execution of one of the project, and we had to take let me say, strong decision in terms of activities, but also in terms of financial impact. And again, we took this kind of decision in 1 hour of internal discussion.
So you're the fastest decision maker. That's what you are now.
Me, but also the team
Yeah.
with I'm working with,
Yeah,
because
nice.
it is, yes, I frankly speaking, I can take the decision. I have the role to take the decision, but
Yeah,
time to time you cannot be a one man show.
I see. I understand. Your title, Luca, it shouldn't be CFO. It should be CDM, Chief Decision Maker. Okay. In your experience, across your career, what do you feel makes a good manager or a leader? What characteristics have you sort of worked under, or what do you do in leadership styles that you feel works well for a team? What would you advise?
But first, you have to understand which kind of support you can request, you can ask to your team, and which kind of support you can bring to your team. So time to time, you can recruit people that could have some technical gaps, but the right soft skill.
Okay.
And I have also a couple of examples that I got in the past where people not extremely exciting from technical point of view, but with the right soft skill, and they bring extremely value to the company.
Yeah.
Because at the end, the gap, the technical gap has been covered by the team working together.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the right mindset, the right soft skill, the right capacity to bring also positive impact during difficult situation, it is something that you cannot replace with the technical skill.
Yeah, I agree with that. Companies facing challenges, keep team members that have a positive attitude are priceless because they're the ones that are going to focus on the solution. But to answer the question, so in your opinion, as someone, as a leader, it's important to understand your team, I believe, is what you're saying. So you know who can bring what to the table. As a good leader, you should understand maybe who's more technical, maybe who's more charismatic and can work well face to face with clients.
But you have also to consider that taking one decision that there is always the risk that someone is not real satisfied.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
may happen. That's may happen.
Yeah, I understand. You can't please everyone. What are you most proud of in your career? Is there a moment, particular project, position that you're most proud of?
Yes, it's not a real position because it is the capacity to stay and to reach the trust of your colleagues. This is the point. Every
Nice,
time
yeah.
that you are changing something into the company, or you are promoting some new activities, or you have to face a new project, also operational project during the daily activities, you have to consider that first things first, you have to reach the trust and the trust of your colleagues, of your stakeholder, of your shareholder. Otherwise, it become let's say very difficult
Mm.
to create the environment for a real success.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. How do you think you establish trust? Just being consistent over time?
It's not an easy question. It's not an
Yeah, I
easy
know.
question. Moving in one direction or another, someone could have also different opinion. At the end, it is the results of the activities that day by day can give to your team or your stakeholder the trust in what you are doing and what you are moving inside of the company.
Nice. And Luca, being someone like yourself, you're right at the very top of a company. It's an impressive position that not everyone reaches in their career. For someone young who's starting out, say someone who's just finishing their studies, maybe around 20 years old, and they want to reach the top of a company in any industry, what advice could you give to someone, a young man or woman, that wants to reach at the top of a company like you have?
Uh, Different type of advice for sure. For sure, first thing first, consider that you cannot be a one-man show. You always be part of a team. You can also
Okay.
be the owner of the company, but on other hand, you always have some colleagues. You always have some partner inside or outside of the company. There are the stakeholder, customer, supplier, and also consultant. You have to create the right environment and the right team in order to support all the activities. First.
Nice.
Second, ask always. You have to ask the opinion of third party, always,
Okay.
because you can judge with one single view of the problem, but better to have a comparison. That is not, it does not mean that you are wasting time, just to have a comparison about what you are saying or what you are taking in terms of decision. Third, please don't be scared to take a decision because every
Yes.
time that you take the decision, you change something inside of the company, inside of the project, inside of the activities.
Nice, that's really good. I really like, especially what you said secondly there about a third party's opinion on what you're doing before you
Yeah.
make decisions. That's a nice thing because you can use that across anything in life, any decision, definitely, and then make the decision. So get another view and then make sure you make a decision. Nice. What do you think in overall about sort of the biogas, biomethane industry? I think there's still quite a bit of education to do with people because councils oppose a lot of sites. How do you see the industry, Luca, especially in Italy?
Biogas and biomethane, that is one part of our, let me say, core activities in our group. It is for sure an industry that will grow. Needs to be supported by government, but on other hand, all the renewable energy industry today are key industries also for the future.
Yeah.
So for sure, in the future, we will have additional technology, but today we have to take care and be focused on the mature technology that we can use in order also to mitigate the climate impact that we are facing today.
Yeah. What excites you most about the sector?
Today, after 25 years of, let's say, presence, 20 years of presence inside of financial, or 15, 20 years of presence into the engineering company in different market. Unfortunately, I am I became an expert of so I can give some suggestion in case about guys that will enter into the market and they are moving here and there in one company or another, changing the market. But pay attention, because at a certain point you have to take a decision about your career, about your market, about what you want, also where you want to grow, This is important. Not for the company. This is important for the single.
For the person. Yeah, I understand.
Because
So,
if you are staying in a market that you can appreciate, your daily activities will be more easy.
yeah, I understand. So find yourself a focus within it, and well, first of all, get a third party opinion on it, then decide on the focus. And
Yes.
Luca, I just want to ask a few questions about hiring. Have you got a good positive experience?
No, I have a positive experience, and I have also, let me say, not very positive experience in another situation, but it may happen during the story of working period. So when I was younger, I passed a very long process of recruit for a important firm in the GDO, and at the end I was looking the what's happened. I'm today more excited about the process of hiring than
Yeah.
the years that I spent into the company, because at the end it was extremely long, but also interesting. In another situation, I can say I didn't find the mindset of the person to match the responsibility that they are proposing to the person with the power of attorney that can declare into the company that is the person has been recruited to take this kind of role with this kind of responsibility. And it is important those two things should be working parallel. If you are looking for, and if you are hiring one person with this kind of accountability, with this kind of responsibility, in parallel you have to bring also the rules and the internal rules and the
Yeah.
attorney to represent this kind of responsibility.
And tell me, Luca, when you're hiring someone, is there any? Because I spoke with someone recently who had a tough interview process. He says he tries to ask questions that they would never expect. So I catch them out so that he catches them on the spot thinking to see how they react, how they think, not standard interview questions. Have you got a method when you speak to people? How would you normally conduct an interview? Do you do quite formal, or do you do like an informal chat?
Informal chat. This is yes, informal
Yeah,
chat.
quite relaxed.
But I stress a lot the topic of the accountability, because it is important. Because especially in SME corporation, SME company, you need people responsible. You need people that can be part of the team, Every person should take his piece, his space, his part of responsibility.
And I like what you said as well about attitude as well, because I think it's important. For example, if you have a team of say 8 people and everyone's positive, they're all here, and you employ one negative person, I think it can bring the whole team down a little bit, and that can rock the whole boat. So I think you're right in looking out for the right attitude to match the position that you're hiring for as well. And that's smart. Okay, well, I'll wrap things up there, Luca, because we're at 30 minutes. That went so fast, and it was a real pleasure to speak with you. What an interesting career. We could have gone into much more detail about other bits and pieces, but I think as a whole, Luca, I'd like to say that you're you're definitely a decision maker. That's what I would say. But yes, thank you very much for your time today, Luca. I appreciate it.
Thank you to you for the time and for the experience, because it is an
Yeah,
experience.
it was nice.
And I took the decision to participate to this experience.
Yeah.